After all that, I did try to file for workman's compensation to get to see a doctor without it, of course, I was a part-time worker, I didn't have my own health insurance because of that, and, I was not paying for that out of pocket, I didn't make enough money to do that, so, um, I applied for the workman's compensation, I went to go see a workman's comp, specific doctor, and they were totally unhelpful. It was a complete mess at this doctor's office. It was a cramped like Concentra. I don't you Some people may know what that is, but Concentra is like, it's just not a great doctor's office, It's like it's specifically for workman's comp related issues. And some of you guys might know U-Haul. You probably don't, but U-Haul is not unionized. They're not, progressive in any way. And so it was very difficult for me to go through the application process to get workman's comp anyway. And that's kind of why I put it off for so long. I was like, I don't want to go through all this just to see a doctor about something that I don't even know. Like it's obviously a huge issue, but I don't know. I'm just too young to have to deal with all this stuff. I mean, I was like 20, 19 or 20 years old. So now I'm 25, and these issues have been with me ever since. But yeah, so I saw a workman's comp doctor, and I got some like I they gave me some x-rays. I got some x-rays done, but after that, they didn't, of course, I didn't break any bones or anything like that, so it was all like musculoskeletal, like tears or, problems basically. And that stuff only shows up on MRIs, right? They didn't give me any MRIs or anything expensive, right? So I just got basic x-rays done. They didn't find anything there. And I told them, this that's probably not going to show up on x-rays and everything, but that's kind of where they went to sign me up for. I got signed up for some physical therapy, from basically I think the same place. Basically, it was like integrated within there or somehow. I don't know. This place was so cramped, and the lobby was constantly full. Like it was just a busy place. Which I understand that there's a lot of people in the world that end up having health issues, but yeah, I didn't feel like I was getting the focused care that I really needed. And I did go to physical therapy for a few days, like two. I probably went for 2, maybe 3 days, and the doctor, he was very like dismissive of all my problems. First of all, the doctor was not trying. He was basically trying to get me out as soon as he possibly could because he's costing the company's money or something like that, right? In his head. But anyway, I received a few days worth of physical therapy from workman's comp, and that after that I told him, I wasn't exactly feeling better yet after just a few days, right? And he took that as, "Oh, okay." He said straight up to me, "Okay, then if it's not working, then, you just don't need that anyway. That's not going to work," right? So, he stopped physical therapy for me because I said it hadn't started to work yet. And I didn't have any say in that. He just wrote it off, and then I was out, and that was it. That's all I got. They didn't try to figure anything else out. They didn't do anything else. And so after that, you know, I after I had, been going to the doctor and everything, I had like a write-off from the doctors to prevent me from doing the really heavy lifting work and stuff. And so I ended up getting switched out of the bulk department and doing pre-packing, which was a lot less heavy weightlifting and all that stuff. So it was still heavy stuff. Like I was still having to pick up like 50-pound boxes, but um, and there's tons of metal parts and everything. But anyways, um, from there, what ended up happening was I I just spiraled, man. Like my body wasn't getting better. I didn't get the help I needed from my job, and I didn't have my own health insurance. So my only option was to go full time at a job that was hurting me so that I could afford the health insurance to actually see an actual doctor about these problems and get that treatment. But here's the deal. Um, that obviously was not going to work for me. I did not want to do that. And so what I ended up doing is I kept working here after a long time, but I had some attendance problems. And after a certain point, I was just being called into the office like all the time over just basic like minute late, and it's just really stupid stuff. And I was just like, this is not worth it. Like I'm going through all this stress to keep a part-time job that didn't do anything to help me when I needed it. I got hurt at this job and they could not help me. They just did not want to. I don't know, they just couldn't do it. And there's a lot of problems that I had, socially, and the anxiety was through the roof at that point. Like I was just afraid that I was gonna, lose my job, be broke, and not know what I was gonna do next. And of course, this kind of ruined my relationship with work in general at the time. And this is kind of why I have difficulty um, really motivating myself to be typical 9 to 5 full-time worker and things like this because I'm not sure if these companies are actually going to support me in the way that I need them to. And I'm very young, like I've not experienced life that much, and I don't know how to go about a lot of things to get the support and help that I need. So after a certain point, I just stopped going into that job. I didn't put in my 2 weeks or anything like that. I just stopped going, and I left the job. Um, and say what you will about that, but I really don't know what else to say about it. They were totally unhelpful, and the jobs itself that they had there, I was not qualified to get into like an office position there. And then after the fact, after I had stopped coming in, they're like, my dad tells me, he's like, oh, they take you back, and they might be able to get you into an office position. It's like, I'm not gonna go back there, man. After the experience that I had working there, I'm done. I'm done with that. Anyways, I don't expect them to take me back anyways after just not stopping coming in and everything like that. But I needed something else. I needed something that wasn't so physically demanding because my body was just not capable of it at that point. And so I really struggled after I left that job, after I stopped going. I did not have, I was in a really bad place mentally. I was going through a lot of issues with my girlfriend at the time. It's not really that important, but it did contribute to my mental state, and some of the decisions that I was making and everything like that. I mean, I'm not going to blame her for that at all, but um, the work injury was definitely the catalyst to most of the issues that I face today. And I just kind of wanted to explain some of that to you guys and talk about it because it's important to me that people understand, um, why I'm in the situation and the position excuse me, why I'm in this situation to begin with, how I ended up, like this, basically.